Where you're staying is not haunted. Do not worry, there are no ghosts. But
How do you know?
because I've slept everywhere.
That's actually kind of crazy. We are here. We've arrived at the Bhakta headquarters. Previously was an abandoned college campus that Raj Bhakta bought out, and he turned it into the Bhakta headquarters.
That's right. Green Mountain College was the previous campus here, and it's kind of crazy. You could see some of the old banners, papers and bulletins and things like that. And back in the library, they house some of the oldest spirits, an armagnac, all the way back to like 1930, I think. So, yeah, we're gonna get to try a bunch of different stuff. Armagnacs to some whiskeys, because they blend in some of the armagnac into their bourbon and some of the rye and things like that. So I think we're gonna have a lot of fun doing that, smoking some cigars, maybe get a workout in. There's a gym, a pool, so we have a lot of fun ahead.
Yeah, we'll take you along. We're super excited.
Took a trip to France, had like this kind of like revival of his own. Found this chateau in Condom, France that had all this ancient armagnac in the basement. And he's like, okay, maybe I'm not out of the game yet. Made an offer to, he just walked away with a nice little paycheck after Whistle Pig, right? Made an offer. I think he was like driving around like
Was he the actual owner of Whistle Pig, or he was like part?
Founder. He founded it.
Okay.
He's the founder. But, the board, of course, they got big, they had a board, so that ended how it ended. And luckily it did. I mean, it's kind of fate that he, but anyways, made an offer on the chateau. They're like, fuck you, American, like, get out of here. Came back the next day. Come on, like, please, what's the, name your number, And they're like, finally, if you want this, you got to buy the whole chateau. Bought the whole chateau, which came with the armagnac in the basement. And now he's got, fucking vintage from 18. I mean, survived like 2 world wars. I mean, it's like crazy.
Oh, we got a little rower. The fitness center.
Right? Yeah, no,
All right.
Oh, cool. Very old school.
right? Like, it's like a legit.
We're actually going to work out.
It smells like sweat.
Owned by the Drowsy Actors.
We're like that video. Gonna load me up. And then it's gonna hit my chest and I'm gonna
Just fart. Like, imagine having this to yourself.
Fired up, baby.
When I stayed here, I got like 4 days of just, I would come in here in the morning, blast music,
Oh,
and I was the only one in here.
that to me is like heaven. We're no longer the Whisky Boys, we're the Fitness Boys. Getting ready before 2 days of drinking at Bhakta Griswold. Lots of armagnac, lots of whiskey. This is so cool.
1001, 1002.
This is their gymnasium. Like we said, this used to be a college. These are all of Raj's cars. We'll do a close-up later. You're more knowledgeable on cars,
Yes.
and I'm more knowledgeable on basketball and skills.
We'll see.
So I played varsity basketball in high school. That's one of my fun facts. 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade, I was on the varsity team. At one point, it was my favorite hobby, but it's been a while. I'm 34 now, so.
I've been a cheerleader ever since.
I'm older. We just did arms, so it's going to be a little rusty at first. Swing! All right, well, our official first pour of the day. This one right here is the 1928 straight rye whiskey, Calvados, and Armagnac. I believe it was, we said 3% Armagnac is in here. 10. Oh, 10%. So that's the high. So they don't put full Armagnac because Armagnac is very expensive. It's a great spirit. So this is a nice blend. This is one of their main lines that you can find at a lot of stores. Highly recommend. So we're starting off with that. We have a little break time before we begin the tours being here. We were here last year, but we weren't vlogging then. I was going to ask you what are some things that you're excited to do again, or you're hoping to do this year that we didn't do last year?
Again, barrel sauna. So they have that big barrel, and we were in the sauna throwing the firewood in there. So it's like the real firewood, and it's right by the creek. It's such a vibe.
Are you going to go in the creek?
You know what? I actually might.
You might consider it?
Yeah. Today was a little bit warmer today, 29 degrees, so we're a little warmer. Last time we smoked cigars inside is always a fun thing to do.
Because I'm a stud. I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone. I smoke my stogie anywhere I want. I don't have to find a hideout place like you.
But yeah, that was really fun, and especially with like Armagnac in general, and then their other blended products. So this is with the rye and Calvados, and then I love their bourbon.
Yeah,
the bourbon with I think they put Armagnac in that one as well. I'm not sure.
I think so, because I remember there was a little grape to it.
Or they finish an Armagnac cask, maybe. That was the thing. But that, awesome. And then super good with a cigar. So I'm looking towards that pairing as well.
That'll be fun.
Oh, trying our vintage. We got to try our birth year, 1990.
So young.
We got to try our birth year.
Can you explain what that means too? Because when I first came here, I didn't know what that meant.
So the Armagnac, it was distilled or laid to rest, like aged from 1990, put in the barrel.
Okay.
What they're doing though, these barrels, they're like suspended in aging, so they're not aging anymore.
How come? Do you know why?
There was something that was explained to us, and now
we're going to learn a lot on the tour.
We're going to learn a lot more.
Yeah, and we're going to show clips of people. Maybe even here I can clip it ahead to somebody saying.
I know. I would love to get an expert on that.
Morgan, I wanted to ask because, like, if whiskey's aged for 40 years, it turns like black and it's almost too woody and not good.
Yeah, it gets chewy. So when you think about American whiskey versus Armagnac, it's much smaller barrels. Armagnac barrels hold almost another third in size, and so there's less contact with the wood. Also think about temperature. In the United States, we're having a lot of fluctuations. In the chateau in Condom, France, it is the same temperature all year in the cellar. And our cellar masters who go through, they're constantly tasting. They're constantly, if they think one of our barrels is perfect, ready, they will put it in a bonbon, or demijohn.
Oh, okay.
Suspense.
Absolutely. But that being said, it can still be in wood for over 50 years. Wow. With it still being lovely and drinkable because of the temperature regulations and the less surface contact of wood.
Are they reused barrels? Or
so for Armagnac, it has to be French oak. It has to be new, but new is a different definition there. It has to be within 4 years. So new can be 4 years.
What would have been in there that they would have
Only
gotten rid
Armagnac.
of? Interesting,
Yeah, because Armagnac or Calvados is all they're producing spirits-wise.
Okay.
As they're making grape wines, and Armagnac is pretty much distilled wine.
That's
you know?
so wild. So yeah, over 50 years. That's crazy. I had no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some barrels be older, but those are like special cases that maybe it was in one corner of the cellar that was a little colder. You know, like it's these tiny factors that we don't think about.
And these are aging still. These are aging. In other rooms.
They came from France. They were put into totes, taken out of wood for the travel. They were pumped back into their original barrel in the library. Wow. And then they've been here for 4 years now.
But we got to try things that were, distilled in 1990. And then earlier, 1972, I think, is their big winner, or 73, something like that, is their big one that's like won a bunch of awards. So it's going to be fun to like get to try those kind of things as well. But yeah, and then the Jamaican rum, they had like this vintage Jamaican rum from 1990. That's
really cool. Last year when we came, Raj wasn't here, sadly. So you probably heard earlier in the video, Raj was the co-founder of Whistlepig, one of the biggest whiskey brands out there. He sold his part out, his part, and then he decided to start Bhakta, which is super cool. I don't know. He seems like a very cool guy. We've seen a lot of videos of him. He likes to smoke cigars. He likes cars. He obviously likes whiskey. So, I mean, that's like our type of person.
And it's even funnier because, like, I feel like he's like the Willy Wonka of this place because, like it's all a playground and they just say like he just pops out as somewhere, It's like, oh, there he is. He just makes appearances. Yeah. So it just reminds you of Willy Wonka because their stuff is also like, candy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. So that'll be cool. My goal is to for us to maybe have a cigar with him.
Yeah.
Obviously just hang and just like in a casual setting, not just
Right.
oh, nice to meet you and move on, you know.
Right.
And like he said, having cigars, we asked them, we're like, are we going to be able to have some cigars because it is pretty cold out, and I know they're doing a bonfire, which that's going to be a blast too. Mm-hmm. But they actually were like, no, you can smoke wherever you want.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, any room? I'm like, that's actually insane.
I'm gonna have one in the shower.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to be disrespectful. Like if there's somebody in the room with us that doesn't like smoke. But what can you say to whiskey drinkers who like only drink whiskey? How did you feel about Armagnac the first time you had it? And do you think like it's something they can try?
I was blown away. I am very surprised how similar it is to whiskey, and more similar to like bourbon, because there's like this certain sweetness to it that is very close to like American whiskey, bourbon, and
I mean, is this considered whiskey?
no,
Because isn't like if it says straight rye and there's over 50%.
Well, this is a whiskey, yeah, because
This
it's
one.
over, yeah, correct, that one is.
So yeah, so technically their product is a whiskey.
Yeah, that particular product, yeah. The single vintages, which is like the 1990 or the 1928 that used that some of that Armagnac in that particular bottle, those single vintages of Armagnac are not whiskey. It's wine. So it's the grain that they use that separates the spirit. So, you know, whiskey using some sort of grain, corn, you know, barley, etc. This use wine, grapes.
Yeah.
So, similar to cognac. I really enjoy it. I think it's like, I've actually ordered it out a few times. Like if I see
really?
it on the menu, I will get it like after dinner. It's such a great, just as I drink bourbon, you know, sometimes after dinner, it's after a really good meal. It's just a nice pour to have.
I agree. It's elegant.
Yep.
There is like Armagnac straight up by itself. There's definitely that grapiness to it.
There's
which I like.
grape. Yep.
So I think you would have to like that.
And the proof is up there too. They're not like, you know, they don't proof down that much. So yeah, you're up there 50s or so.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're going into the basement of the place that we're staying, which is not being used right now. And like we said, this was an abandoned college campus, so super cool room here. I mean, I can't imagine the people that went to college here.
It's insane.
And you said these were dorm rooms? Kitchen. It's very like, I don't want to say small, but like communal where
Yeah.
I'm sure like everybody worked together here. Wow, still the beds. Oh yeah, this is creepy. This long hallway.
All right, we're coming back down tonight.
No light. Don't turn any lights on.
I don't know if there's lights on.
Smoke a cigar.
Wow. Mommy,
Did you guys hear?
still here?
What?
Oh, so these are just identical, or they're similar to the ones upstairs? Then?
Yeah, this was like a 4-story dorm.
Okay.
Did they ever talk about maybe doing something down here or not?
Probably, they were probably gonna do something awesome, knowing them, but
Yeah.
down the line. I think this had got a lot of water damage.
Oh, cool. That's
over the
where
years.
you go to die.
That we're about to embark on here. So, cheers to you all. Salud. If you don't know what's in your glass is our 1928 blend. This is 60% rye, 60% rye, 30% Calvados, and 10% Armagnac. It's the oldest vintage is from 1928. Which is part of our Roaring 20s theme here that you will see throughout the campus. Take a sip, cheers, and I'll tell you a little bit of our story and how we got here. Obviously, showing up to an abandoned college full of booze is a weird thing. It was weird the first time I came here. I started on your end of things as a guest. And even further back, I used to drink here as a teenager. Way shittier booze. We've moved up in the world. But this campus, it was built in 1830. He's my fact checker.
1834.
1834. It was an all-women's school. When you drive up, I don't know if you saw the big circle and the main building with the clock tower. That was the original part of the school, and everything since then had been added on. The town was really built around the school, which is what you see in Vermont. They would open up schools in the middle of nowhere, and it transitioned into a co-ed school in the 70s. Derek has stories of his dad coming to the bars here to meet girls because all the Green Mountain girls were
When
here.
all of a sudden pile in, it's like, oh, they just got out of school. Or
And then it closed in 2018. It finished as a liberal arts school. And this place means a lot to the people in this town. I mean, at its peak, it had just over 2,000 students. At its lowest, when it closed, probably closer to 400. But you could go here and learn things that you wouldn't necessarily find in a traditional schooling system. So I had a friend who went to school here for outdoor adventure.
Yeah.
What does that mean? She became a whitewater rafting guide, which they would practice in the pool. So there's all these old kayaks below the pool, like in the basement. They would learn ski mountain hospitality was another program. So really interesting hands-on approach to schooling, which we have since continued with our armagnac schooling and the school that we've opened on campus. So it closed in 2018. It really shook the town, losing that many people in a town that only has, 2,000?
3,400 at the peak. So
Yeah, I think it's a lot lower these days. People got nervous. I mean, thank God the people in the town really rallied, and all of the restaurants in town have since they've stayed open and have done very well, but it went to auction, as is. And when we embark on our tour, some of the buildings I'm going to take you into, it looks like the rapture happened. It's frozen in time. Some of the buildings we're going to go into, you'll see what we have done and how we fixed it. This place is too beautiful. Raj Bhakta, creator of Whistle Pig, when he sold, he thought he was done, He thought he did it. He built an incredible brand, put high-end rye on the market, and he thought he was done. His wife was pregnant, he had a few kids, but he realized that what he'd been working for his whole career, like getting the fame, getting the money, getting all these things, it didn't mean anything. And that's when he realized that he wanted to start over, and he wanted to just share incredible vintages with the world. His last release with Whistle Pig was the Boss Hog 4, which is the Black Prince. So it is a rye finished in armagnac. And it was also Dave Pickrell's last release as a Boss Hog release. And Dave told him, if you ever do it again, Raj, go to France and look at armagnac, because it's the last unknown category of spirits. So Raj traveled the world, went to Canada, Jamaica. They ended up in the Alps, and they're in the ski chalet. Raj is trying to figure out where to go next. And Danny, who you'll meet tonight, she's the most lovely woman. But she was fed up from being dragged from spirit tasting to spirit tasting, 8 months pregnant, So she said, I'm done. And she's like, you go off, go to your tastings, we'll be here. So Raj turns to his 20-year-old assistant, who now runs sales up for the whole East Coast, Jonathan, and says, you're the only one who can drive stick, that's the only car that's here. Hold down the fort, buy groceries if they need them. I'm going to the Armagnac region, find out what chateaus I should go visit. And so Jonathan starts Googling, starts figuring out. He's like, I don't even know what Armagnac is really, but let me figure this out. And he talks to Amanda Garnham, who is an incredible woman. She, she's an expert in Armagnac, and she's the queen of Armagnac.
There's like 3 of them, and she's
it. And her son is our master blender in France and handles all of our operations now. But so Jonathan somehow gets a hold of her, and she's tickled because no one at that point, especially not Americans, cares about Armagnac. So she sends him a list. And he is going through this. He's like, oh my God, where am I going to send Raj? And he's seeing these insane age statements. And he worked at Whistle Pig with Raj. So he had a little bit of an understanding on the American Whiskey World, but we don't have age statements like that. And so he's seeing this and a town comes up. He's like, oh my God, I know where I'm gonna send Raj. And he gets excited and he calls Raj. And remember, Raj just got thrown out of the house by his pregnant wife. And this is his 20-year-old assistant. And he goes, Raj, I know where you're going. He's like, okay, I'll put it in my GPS. Raj, you're going to Condom France. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Is this a joke? Do you think you're funny? And it turns out Raj was headed to Condom France. He ended up staying there for a couple months, really getting to know the people on the land and what is in the cellar. It is a 8th-generation Armagnac house. They're a negociant, so they we don't really distill too much, but we are known in the area as people who will help growers and producers distill, and we will buy up their product. So Raj eventually buys the property, and the property is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but really for what's in the cellar. And as he's going through the cellar, he sees 1973, 64, 28, he sees 1904, he sees 1888, he sees 1868. That's not something you see in America, you know? No. So coming from the whiskey world, he couldn't believe this. And he's tasting it, and I've tasted, I think the oldest I've tasted is 1888. And she's oaky, don't get me wrong, but she is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And that's what he's going through and tasting, and he can't believe that these old vintages are still incredibly drinkable. So that's kind of the tale of how we acquired the Armagnac. And since we've been bringing Armagnac here, what you'll see on campus is about 15 to 20% of our stock.
Right now.
You remember this from last year?
The art building. That's
yeah.
They have like an art studio down there.
Oh shit! I gotta dump this. I poured too much.
No, drink it all.
I'm already drunk. So first off, this room is really cool because I don't know if we said this on the vlog yet. Raj Bhakta built like a school here for some of his kids, and the other kids are here. Whether is it like a daycare? Did they say or?
Yeah, it's like an elementary school.
They said that with the kids, eventually they're going to turn this into an art room. So you can come in here and see all the art that the kids did. But they're actually brought us here because they have rum from 1990, which is special because that's actually our birth year. So this rum they found is vintage rum from 1990. And would you say this is one of our favorite things from?
It's great.
Right?
$500 a bottle.
$500 a bottle? I didn't know it was that much.
Yeah, so...
Wow.
But yeah, it is so young. You know what it is? It's like we try so much of the same stuff with bourbon.
That's a great point.
And this is like so refreshing. I just love weird things. This is not weird in any way, but it's just so unique.
To it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? This barrel's huge.
Oh my god, look at this. Is this where they put the Armagnacs in?
I wonder if that's an Armagnac barrel. That thing's huge.
Isn't that wild?
Ah, yes. Go do 2 minutes up on stage.
What's the deal with
airplane peanuts?
We've had some shows on the stage that have been very fun. We've had some keynote speakers here that are pretty insane, but the school, they use this, so they did some of this is from a recent play of theirs. They made little cotton ball wigs and did a Revolutionary War reenactment. Very funny. But what's in your glass is our 2014 bourbon. We are releasing a bourbon every year. Our 2013 was the first one. This is my favorite. But it is MGP bourbon. We have a great relationship with MGP from Raj's Whiskey days. And so they give us these incredible barrels that you do not see on the market. So it's actually 99% corn, 1% malted barley.
Wow.
And everyone is familiar with MGP, or do you want me to go into that?
I got it.
But so it is 99% corn, 1% malted barley, and then goes into our 1973 Armagnac barrel, which won Best Spirit in the World. So
is it a finished?
These barrels were gold. We had to use them.
Right?
I don't know about you, but this, when I am out in the world and I'm going to restaurants and I'm trying to talk to people about this product, I don't really have to say much. I just give people a taste. And in a bourbon market that's very oversaturated with brands, the Armagnac finish that shines and it gives you that finish that keeps going and going and going the way that Armagnac often does. What do you think about this, first off?
Fantastic. Yeah, give me 14 or more right now. Jeremiah, what's your thoughts on the bourbon?
So remember when I said I like weird things, and you know we taste so much of the same bourbon, so give me the rum and stuff. Just give me the bourbon.
It changed your mind.
It's so good.
Wow. Because I thought you were a fan of the rum, though. Wait.
No, I was a big fan of the rum, but I'm like,
oh, now that you jump back,
the bourbon still
is so good.
It's like home.
Yeah.
But what I will say is like, obviously it's bourbon. You get a lot of that.
Yeah. 99% corn.
99% corn, 1% malted barley. The finish in Armagnac, big key there.
It's big key. It rounds it out.
Nice.
When I first sipped it, I was like, is this 1% malted barley? I thought that.
You did? Do I look ridiculous right now?
Why do you have your hood on right now? What temperature do you think it is?
It's colder inside than it is outside. They make good whiskey, but
we have stabilizer on, and this is still there.
In all women's school, there's two ghosts that I know of. One was it was the original headmistress. The basement used to have a bowling alley and a theater. And so they would have all the students in there, and they were doing a play, and the headmistress, Mrs. Ames, she was in the middle of all her students. She had a heart attack, and she passed away. And Mrs. Ames, when I would come here as a teenager, the tale that we were told is that if any students were getting a little too cozy in their dorms, she would show up at the foot of the bed. She also whistles, and I've heard her whistle a lot, so if you hear whistling...
Yeah. Just look at this glass, all fogged up. This used to be their... Is this Olympic size or Olympic size swimming pool? So cool. Hopefully we'll be able to jump in here at some point and get that on camera.
1961.
That's crazy. Imagine like coming to watch your kids.
Right?
You swam on the swim team, right?
you gotta keep clothes on to swim in that pool?
Hey, yo! When you start drinking Armagnac, you get weird, bro.
And this, our 1973 single vintage Armagnac, is the first time you're trying 100% Armagnac since you've been here. This won Best Spirit in the World last year at Ultimate Spirit.
Oh, that's crazy.
99 points.
Jesus, that nose.
It is spectacular.
Wow, thank you. Was there any cars to you that you're like, that would be the one I would pick, or you think they're just all special? I don't know. As a car enthusiast, I'm just wondering if you feel any type of way.
If I had to pick something here, it's going to be either between that big, huge Cadillac.
That's sick, yeah.
Or the Rolls over here. Right?
Oh, okay.
I like the Rolls.
So
It's
what
very
makes
classic.
that? Oh, classic.
Super classic.
Okay.
I mean, look at even I don't know if this was redone or if this is original, but that interior is still ridiculous.
Yeah, that's insane.
And I think this stuff will, like, put the top down, and you know, you're just driving a couch. The Cadillac is just cool to me. These other ones are like cool, but like they're a little too old.
Sure.
This was the cafeteria. I don't know about you guys, but my cafeteria was not this beautiful. Here you are. We have our Indian whiskey here, 10-year-old.
Oh, did you crack your Indian?
No.
Thank you.
Okay, so Indian whiskey. I'm gonna open this.
Oh, that's a great nose, actually.
This is a remarkable product. It's one of the most interesting products I think we have in our line as our limited release. And so what this is it's 100% 6-row malted barley. It's from Goa. It's this distillery. It's their first release in America. And Raj spent a couple months in India last winter. He spent Christmas there with his family, trying to show his children where their lineage comes from, because that's where his father's from. And so he got to know this distillery, and what they do to get a vintage like this is something I've never heard of before. So they distill and they put it into 3 types of barrels: ex-bourbon, French oak, and a ex-Isla. And then they let it sit for 3 years. They char it, they let it sit, then they dump those barrels together every 3 years, and then top it off with new make. Because it's so hot in India, you do not get vintages this old. This is just another example of our limited releases. When it's gone, it's gone.
Oh, thoughts on the Indian? Is it Indian single malt?
Yes. Aged 10 years and 3 months or something. 100 and it's 56. Hey, what are you doing? It's 113 proof. And whoa, it was.
I was super impressed.
Well, it's very scotchy.
Yes.
So you kind of have to like that, but there's like this weird roasted nut, like chestnut, like a really interesting flavor.
I got some honey,
and
like a lot of honey
on the nose. Like the nose was very honey, buttery, that kind of
buttery. Yes, we were saying that a lot.
Yeah, I was really impressed by this. So it's not something I usually go for, but
How many pours deep are we now?
We had 1990 rum, a 2014 bourbon, a 1973 armagnac. We're going old.
Yeah, and we did 2 before that. Yep. All right, just finished a podcast. I mean, is this not like one of the coolest places that we've ever done a podcast?
Should we try an armagnac?
Oh, they said we can do one of the younger ones, right?
Should we do like a 73, a 72?
I mean, we're by ourselves here right now with cigars, which is also, to me, just like such a cool little element. We just shot a podcast, which you can go back and watch that because I think that's going to come out before this. We did a review of the Bhakta 1928 on there. We did the Hogsworth on there. And we smoked cigars.
Man, I'm so impressed by those two, especially with a cigar. It just holds up so well. I mean, look at these cars, though. Should we go?
Yeah, we have to do a little.
So, there's 2 Rolls Royces in the collection. This is a 1988 Rolls Royce Cornish, I think, and it's a coupe. It's a convertible.
That's crazy.
We have a 1933 Lincoln, and this. Franklin D. Roosevelt rode in it. It is car, and it's awesome. We have a Mercury here from 1948. Don't know why there's no vintage.
Can I pause for a second?
Yeah.
Jeremiah, you're a big car guy, right?
Yeah.
What made you a big car? I'm actually more in a deep dive into you. What made you a big car guy?
So I don't know anything. I'm an idiot when it comes to like mechanical stuff.
Okay.
So I could not tell you how to fix a car. I don't even know how to do an oil change. But like when I was a kid at like 6 years old, I just knew brands, and then I would read up on brands so I could just like memorize those kind of things. And so like I just know logos, brands, and that kind of thing. That made me interested originally in cars, and then the mechanical aspect, like this is something that was made so many years, like 70 years ago, and it still runs and it still functions mechanically. It just blows my mind. And look at the size difference from 1948 to 1968, 67. Okay, 1 year off. I mean, it's just like, and country difference.
Yep.
U.S. Britain.
Yep.
So English car, Austin Healey, for an American car, and a 20-year difference. It's just like, it's amazing to see what happens mechanically. Ford came out with the Thunderbird originally in like the 1960s. They did this whole thing for like resto mods back in the day, and they came back out of all these older cars, Ford GT, Ford Thunderbird.
That's so cool.
This was 2002, and these were like really, really fun cars, but I love that they paired the vintage Armagnacs with the car. So I think this is just like a really fun thing to do. This is a Packard, I believe. Yeah, 1933 Packard with a 1933 Armagnac. It's just like so cool to see these. The next one is probably my all-time favorite. 1973 Cadillac Eldorado, or DeVille, I'm sorry. And it's probably as big as a Tahoe, which is a modern SUV. Notice that it's 4 doors, whereas the second window, all these windows come up together, so there's nothing, pairing those two. Look at the color inside. It's just so wild. How many bodies?
Insane.
How many bodies do you think you can fit in this?
Well, why are you? I feel like you're turning into a mafia guy.
Okay, so to be, we did hear that, I don't know if you know who Dave Pickerel was, but legend in the whiskey game. This was his actual personal car, and he would pick up people like bartenders and things like that to experiment with different whiskeys and like do all those kind of things. And so this is a legendary car. Over here, we have a more modern day car, a Maserati Quattroporte, or Gran Turismo actually. This is a 2-door version from 2014. So we have like modern versus not modern, and US versus, Italy. And lastly, another Rolls Royce. This guy's from 1995. I was already 5 years old.
That's crazy.
And the luxury on this, there's so much wood and leather. It's just so cool to see these things.
I said I would pick this car if I had to pick.
Yeah? This is
Yeah.
cool.
The more I look at it, I just love the white and the tan. It's like insane.
Okay, Grandma.
Hey, yo. But seriously, the look. And it stands out, like, to me, some of them, I would take it, obviously. I would take any one. But you can see how style has, like, changed throughout the years.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just something unique about that to me.
Apparently the 73 was like the award winner.
Oh, that's right. So that'll be really fun. Let's do that. So
99.
they actually won, what was it? The Best Spirit of the Year?
Yeah.
Which is insane. And that's like literally of all spirits.
Of all spirits.
Glass top.
Ooh.
How sexy is that?
I know people who hate that.
I mean, when you get something like this.
The wee little drum.
Go. So, straight Armagnac. Good stuff.
I'm so curious how it is with a cigar.
I mean, we've been doing the Whisky Boys for 4 to 5 years now, but we've only been on a few influencer trips, or creator trips, I should say. Bhakta does it right. Coming here is a full experience. Oh, it's nice with the cigar.
Again,
It's different.
you pick up the sweetness with a cigar.
Yes. We're also big cigar guys, and you are especially a big guy, cigar guy.
Oh. This is a big gymnasium.
I'm in heaven right now. This is great.
Together. I mean, on its own was great. We did come off of like a sweeter, I think the bourbon was like a little bit sweeter than this.
Okay.
And so it kind of messed a little with our taste profile, I think. We thought that this was a little bit more
Because when we were trying it by
bitter.
itself. Yeah.
But with a cigar, oh.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Rich layers of spiced fruit aromas reveal themselves in waves. Cinnamon baked plums, caramelized apple tart, and floral undertones. Concentrated flavors of mixed baking spices, peach skin, fresh tobacco. I don't get tobacco, but probably because I got tobacco in my mouth.
Yep.
and brown sugar are luscious and ever evolving through a suede texture. A pleasure to sip.
It made it better. Reading that made it better. Luscious.
The pear, I get that. Oh, plums. Sorry, I absolutely get the plums in it.
This car's so ridiculous.
Yeah, this is great. So next up, the 80s party, 1800s or 1980s.
Dinner first,
Yes, dinner, which
because that's most important.
we're going to be eating, not filming. And then, what is the speakeasy, right? That they have in
Yes.
their basement. And then they're doing like this fun party. We went last year, it was a blast. They had music and all this stuff. Anyway, we're going to have cocktails. So we're not going to be drinking the whiskey or armagnac neat. And we're going to have some delicious cocktails and have some fun.
Oh my god. That's incredible.
Yeah, so when you see more gray hair, that's.
What would you say your favorite cocktail is?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, old fashions are.
Yeah, I sometimes I like to say a New York sour just because I want to be unique, but realistically,
I mean, all sidebars, I love, you know.
yup. You do lean sometimes into like more bitter.
Yeah.
I'm a sweet boy.
Then let me put a little extra.
Thank you very much.
Okay, good.
I'll tip extra, I swear. It's funny because I do love when they put like champagne or prosecco in my cocktails. It's the best. Thank you.
She would like some.
What are we drinking, Jeremiah?
1982 Armagnac, single vintage, 108.2 proof. It's called a bonbon.
A bonbon.
Bonbon. And basically, they pour the spirit in here so it stops aging. It doesn't age anymore. I'm gonna use this thief. You ready? Should we do one more?
We can. Let me fix the. I don't think nobody's gonna.
One more.
It's a good life we live at Bhakta, baby.
1982, baby.
So, next up, we're going down to the Hogsworth Lounge, Speakeasy, for our little party with cocktails. I got a cigar here because we might smoke cigars. Our fingers are crossed. Let's hog it up.
Oh, come on.
Come in.
You ready?
Day 2. Why'd you bring a bathing suit? I thought we were skinny dipping.
Let's hit that sauna, pool. I wonder if we're gonna get the barrel sauna. Hopefully,
Hopefully, down by the river.
But yeah, at least we'll go to the gym.
Yeah, let's grab this. Let's take a look at what we're going to be doing today. So, day 2 at Bhakta. What do we have? We already ate breakfast. The Griswold method. Do you remember that from last year?
That's this.
Oh, going to do the breath work and stuff. Yeah, because some people in the group can do breath work. The
I just
cold
breathe
plunge.
heavy.
Yeah, I'm already doing it.
Let your knees to the sky, hands on your heart and your belly. Feel your diaphragm raise with each breath in and release.
The Olympic-sized pool.
It was the first one in Vermont, actually.
No way.
Yeah,
I must not have been paying attention.
1960 something.
Wow. And we have cold plunge for a little wake up and a sauna. So we're gonna do everything. Maybe not the cold plunge, but at least some stuff. Let's get to it. 2025 Bhakta. Hello?
Where is everybody?
But you've done these before?
I do.
Okay. Are you gonna do it?
No.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
I don't even like drinking water that cold.
It's no joke. What is the mat you do? Like usually a minute or something, right?
Yeah. What's its temp?
I think it shows.
Okay, it looks like -50.
How much? No, it should go. Unholy smells.
Maybe you should add some more ice.
Jesus. Now to the sauna. All right. I can't see because it's bright from the sun. Next stop, bitters. Bitter making class. You ever make bitters before?
No, I really actually don't even know what they are.
I don't either. I know that we've made old fashions with like chocolate bitters, orange bitters.
I know that, yeah, they can be customized that way, but what's actually in there? I'm looking forward to finding that out too.
I know you're very familiar with being bitter about your ex relationships.
True. That's why I like bitter cocktails.
Oh, it all connects together. That makes sense. The Griswold Library.
Like it's always really fun for me and my friends who make our own bitters. Like feels like Pokemon cards almost, where you're like, oh, I did an orange bitters that's half dried peel, half fresh peel. I did this, I put clove. You can do your own thing. There's no rhyme or reason. But historically,
That's cool.
bitters, I mean, it was originally a health remedy. I mean, they thought that bitters can solve everything from acid reflux to malaria.
What flavor are you going for?
1928.
So, as a good African, I need my cloves,
Which is a favorite of mine.
cocoa
I
nibs,
love younger.
and this has a little bit of Indian sarsaparilla and cassava wood. Very root beer and spicy.
I love that.
So I want to do something that will go in what I call the dahome, old fashioned. So dahome is the capital of Benin in West Africa, and they're the one who had the girls from the Black Panther.
Oh,
so
really?
The warriors, the women warriors, were from dahome.
That's cool.
So
we're currently making our own bitters that we'll be able to take home, which is super cool. You can make it maple, chocolate, flavors here. You can smell through them. Wow, that's actually pretty good. Wild cherry bark. You can smell through the different flavors that they have, blend them how we want to blend them, and then go home with some bitters that we created. And they're using armagnac as a base, right?
Yes. So this was a 2014?
Yes.
It's so light compared to
Personally, I think you might have heard me say this. I love young Armagnac.
Yeah, it's crazy how it's much more spicy than some other things, and then like buttery too.
Buttery.
It has like a floralness, some bright citrus flavors. Our people in France, like our master distiller and our blender and our cellar master, this is what they drink on the daily. Like they're not grabbing the 73. This is the easy drinking. I just want to sip after work.
Yeah.
This is what you pull.
Yeah.
So this is this is pulled, this is bottled now, 2014. Okay.
Yeah. So I sell this on campus and we sell it on our website.
And then will this be used in anything else, like to finish anything or no?
Possibly.
It just depends.
It depends. I mean, like our bourbon, the 2013, we put in our Bhakta 50 barrels, and that was an Isla barrel that held Armagnac. And then we put bourbon in it. And then our 2014 bourbon, we pivoted. We put it in our 1973 barrels because they're gold and we love them. 2015 bourbon? I don't know what's gonna happen.
We love the bourbon. We really do.
Me too. Do you know what you're gonna do for your bitters?
I'm going chocolate.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow the recipe. I just have to, I'm not that creative, but this was very interesting because I actually didn't really know what bitter, like I was like, is there alcohol in bitters? And obviously we're gonna use the armagnac.
Yeah.
This is gonna be cool.
So we're gonna follow the chocolate bitters recipe because we don't want to mess it up. And then right here is where we'll make it or hold it because it has to sit for 2 months.
Yeah, a few months. Yeah, so all that's gonna like blend together. Now the base, we're actually using a 2014,
Which we're drinking too.
Yeah,
Cool. Have you been messing with cocktails more and more or no?
a little bit more. Yep. Yeah, just because you know, at home sometimes I'm like, I want a cocktail, but I'm not going anywhere. So.
True. What's your what do you think you're most skilled at making at home?
Old fashioned.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the chocolate. So the next one is cocoa nibs, and they smell delicious. Like I want to.
Oh my god, that's delicious.
And this is a porter. What's up? Cardamom.
Cardamom was a mom that was wearing a cardigan, right?
Yeah, cardamom and cardapoppy.
Cardamom.
Crazy. I did tonka beans. I don't know, but I think they make you big and strong.
All right, we put a little bit of this. Indian sarsaparilla root. Is that how you say it?
There's like a little bit root beer.
Wild cherry?
Wild cherry. Slow as molasses, huh?
Man, this guy.
That was really good content. That was good.
Final product. She's dark. I don't know if it's like, I wonder if it's too liquidy. That's alright.
Well, I mean, yeah, and then you got what? It's 2 months, strain it.
Yeah, if it's gonna, yes, you have to strain it through the cheesecloth.
Then you have to get a dropper, or do they give us droppers?
Yeah, we're gonna get a dropper.
Yeah, there it is.
There we go. I kind of want to like make it a little different from what they were talking about, but I do agree with those statements. For me, I mean, we're short on time nowadays. You know, he has a family, so I'm all about maximizing, you know, life in general. So this trip, we're trying to get social media content. We want to have a good return on that. We want to post. We want our posts to do well. We want Bhakta to be happy with the things we created. We also want to enjoy ourselves and have a memory that we can look back on. So, you know, on one end it is like getting the most for your dollar. So if you go to the store, sure, I want my whiskey to be worth my hog's worth. But on another end, in life, I want to get my hog's worth. I want to go out and make the most of the time that I have. So that's just another way of looking at it.
Yeah. That's the kind of core that I see in the brand. It's like get your hog's worth means the brand demands, exports you, you know, begs you to get your hog's worth out of what you drink, but out of your life. Like you're not just a number. You're not just, you know, again, like use a thing, you know, stop playing with your pee-pee in your mother's basement. That's not where you max out, right? As a human being. And I want to kind of get, but if I can seed that question into the public psyche, is he get your hog's worth?
It's like I found him, and because I liked what he did, I don't really want to tell him what to do necessarily. I want him to have it, and he does it his way, like his content, what he likes to do, what he's passionate about. And then I think that his followers see that it's not just him reading a script that we gave him or talking about what everyone else talks about. Like maybe and this could tie back to Hogsworth, like if we send you Hogsworth, maybe your Hogsworth is drinking it neat with a cigar, but maybe say Jeremiah, if you were a different influencer, your Hogsworth is
cigars your main thing?
Whiskey.
Yeah.
Okay. You're a business partner.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, best friends from middle school, and then during COVID we had nothing to do, so we decided to start New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
You moved to Austin.
Mm-hmm. I moved there 4 years ago. He still lives in New Jersey.
Brand, right? I mean, creative was big. It was a big success. Got some money out of that, and started thinking about okay, well, what's new? What's next in the world? And maybe I'll give you a little bit of background on how I got. Who wants to hear how I got into the whiskey business?
Yeah.
I guess it's a story of ADD in a certain way, right? I graduated from school back I went to Boston College, graduated, and later went into the Marines, but broke my shoulder, and that, sidetracked that very quickly. Then I started at .com out in California in about 99, 2000. I sold the company, wasn't a big success. I mean, it sounds like I sold the .com, it sounds great, but I didn't really make any money. Got into, and I'm gonna give you the very fast forward thing, ended up developing a hotel in Vail, which I guess kind of started the whole trajectory, which landed me on a farm in Vermont. So I'm working on a hotel project in Vail. My dad bribed me. My dad's a successful businessman. I'm the eldest son in an Asian family, so I'm supposed to take it over. My dad did a little bit of a bait and switch in that he really came and took over the project, and I was like running around as his gopher. And he would kind of, Indian immigrant, came with no money in his pocket, and he's like, what type of rich boy did I raise? He's running around, going around like you're a big shot. You're not a big shot. I'm the big shot, but you're acting like a big shot. Oh, and you're going around late time at night. You're going and talking at the girls in the bars and drinking. How many beers do you drink? I was like, I moved on to higher proof stuff from beer. I just went on and was like, 1 beer, 2 beers, 3. And what you feel like more cool? Second beer, you're a big short guy, talk. I'll tell you this story. So you know that show, The View?
Yeah.
Yes.
This will give you an idea of he liked it. But we go on The View, and afterwards The View, he goes, he says, Raj, do you want to ride? And to the next thing, whatever it was. And I said, sure, I'll take a ride. And we get into his limo, and I'm sitting in the limo, and then next to him, and he says, Raj, do you notice anything about this limousine? This is a truly spectacular limousine, Mr. Trump. I've never quite been. Do you notice anything in particular about this limousine, Raj? The Trump signs everywhere. That's unique. That's unique. He goes, no, Raj. This is the longest limousine in Manhattan. It's also the widest limousine in Manhattan. I said, Mr. Trump, with lines like that, you should be doing Viagra commercials. But he's like always. I mean, the white sheet, he's not putting on a shtick, or he's put on a shtick a long, long time ago, and he sticks with it. But he's always, like that.
All right. One of my favorite things to do when we're on a whiskey trip like this is to search for a random bar, because we're in a different town. It's Vermont. And we have our new friend here, Patrick, who is coming with us. He's showing us the local bar. That's
right, the Pulteney Pub.
Pulteney Pub.
Yes.
But there's like hundreds of bars in this.
Right, it's one of thousands, right? Actually. Yeah.
The only bar in town.
So we're obviously going to see if we can find some whiskey, but regardless, I don't care. I'm just happy to go to any pub.
And within the East Coast, has been all over the East Coast. You go up to Vermont, right?
I think if I skied more often,
right.
Ski there, I probably
ski area.
Which is so funny. I skied like 4 or 5 years ago. Was that with y'all?
Yeah.
And I had so much fun, and then we never did it again.
I feel like whenever I'm on the slope, I'm just happy to be done skiing.
Yeah.
I'm just more of the opry.
Well,
category.
I love it, but it is a lot to get the boots and everything, travel out there.
Right.
There's so much work, just then you're finally like, cool, 2 hours of...
Exactly. I'm 39 and
risking my life.
Right, yeah, an injury right now could be catastrophic.
You hear those stories all the time, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The Pulteney Pub.
They actually heard they have really good food there, too.
To conclude the 3rd annual Winter Carnival, finding these foregoing activities to have been of a sound educational nature, consistent with matters of public interest, the committee has elected to designate its incoming monarchs, who shall reign with impunity until February 2026, with absolute legal sovereignty. Therefore, Corey Osdemir's status as the 2024 Winter Carnival King has hereby been revoked. When he dies, his portrait will go up here.
His soul will live on.
And so, First, we'll announce the goat.
Okay, yes. So last year, actually, our reigning goats are here. To my left, we have the Whisky Boys, and this year we have decided, as the Bhakta Spirits team, we want to give it to the. What's the joke here? Come on. We want to give it. We want to move on to the person who really shined throughout the visit and made our jobs feel even more fun than they normally do. So we're gonna give it to Sean. No longer angry in
Can you say a
paradise.
few words?
He's like
speaker, but thank you guys so much
Yeah.
for like a wonderful. I mean, this is easy to have fun here. It's super easy to have fun here, and I can't wait to take my tiny goat home.
Amber.
It was honestly truly a thoughtful moment when I got it, and being a part of family is what's worth. Like, did I get my hog's worth? I got it.
Huzzah! Now our future reign.
Let's complete the coup here.
So here we go.
Let's complete the coup.
Now, without further ado, the king. We have our queen.
Okay.
Now, we'll see. You know, because this comes up from upstairs.
Oh.
Again, I've not seen this.
Does it smell like
cigar?
cigar?
This year's winter carnival goes to Gabagool, New Jersey. It goes to Anthony Jones. Back to back, coming back. Carnival Street on the road. Touring the town, went to Multi Pub. Yes. But I heard there's a little rift among you, or rumor has it. We'll have to solve it tonight from our conversation.
The king.
You have to bolt. You gotta take it.
You can't ruin the hair. Hey.
There we are.
From one hair to another. Long live the king! Long live the king!
Why do I have this on my head? I don't deserve this. This is weird. Is my hair okay?
All bow.
Beautiful. Dude, I can't believe they picked me as the king. This is kind of crazy.
Well, where's my crown?
What do you mean?
I didn't get one.
Well, I don't know, man. Like, they chose me.
I am you. Like, we're the same person. We're one in one.
I didn't think it was gonna like bother you. You mean a lot to me, man.
I'm gonna kill you.
So all jokes aside, they were like, we wanted to pick both of you, but they were like, we're going to pick one because we want to start a controversy. But you can never break up the Whisky Boys. We are too emotionally stable, right, Jeremiah?
The S at the end means plural.
Yes, exactly. Whisky Boys forever.
Ooh, look at this fire.
Right, what a freaking trip. I mean, I honestly have a whole new respect for vodka. I know we learned a lot last year, but I feel like I learned new things this year.
We got to do a newer thing too with the bitters making class, and that was really fun as well.
One thing I didn't realize is how, like, Raj is the Indiana Jones of the spirits industry, right? Because if you think about what he's doing, he's literally traveling around the whole world and he's looking for rare and old vintage spirits. And I forgot the statistic, because they were saying like they own a lot of the spirits in the world.
They own like 85% or 80% of anything that was produced over 100 years ago.
Okay.
75% of anything that was produced like over 50 years ago, and then like 50% of anything that's like over 30 years or something. It's like ridiculous the amount of old stock that they have.
Insane. So they're definitely elite when it comes to having rare vintage spirits.
And then at the campus, like he kind of reminds me of like Willy Wonka, because there's like all these little hidden spots that have like, you know, oh, this, yeah, right here in this closet, you know, something from like 1868, you know, armagnac from 18. We're like, what? And then he's like always appearing from different places.
Yeah, just appearing.
Yeah.
We did donuts. You saw earlier in the video, we did donuts with him. We were going to do the sauna with him and do some ice plunging, but the sauna just wasn't working at the time. But we did end up sitting in on a meeting with him, and he got to explain like his thought process behind trying to grow a brand like Bhakta and what is it, Hogsworth, that they're currently launching. They're on batch 2, but they plan to do some bigger things in the future. What was the one thing? Oh yeah, we were like in the middle of a meeting and he just walked over and like banged a gong, which was just so like him.
Yeah.
You know?
He's such an interesting guy, but I super appreciate him. Like I think I admire him, you know, some of the things that he's accomplished. You know, getting to retry the Jamaican rum from 1990 was just...
And that's like a $400 bottle. You can get any of the things they offer online.
Yep.
So, you know, some of the armagnacs are going to be what, $500 to $1,000, $2,000?
Yeah, I mean, you're paying for something that's like super old. Actually, I think it's kind of value, like for what you actually are, you know, how old some of the product is and how it tastes as well.
Yeah.
I was really impressed. Like that rum went through 3 different life cycles and aging and from 2 different distilleries. It was just, it's really impressive to see some of the things that they get their hands on. So,
and I noticed that some of like the younger armagnacs that we had would be like spicier and
very
hotter.
Spicy, yeah.
And the ones that have been sitting in the barrel for 20, 30, 40 years, they just like mellowed out. I wonder if, we always talk about that with Scotch, like it mellows out longer, which bourbon's different. Like it gets hotter sometimes. Well, not hotter in alcohol percentage, but it's just like harsher because it's pulling in so much wood and oakiness. But yeah, what a fun trip. Got to drink a ton. I got to swim in the pool. We did a reel. I'll probably put that up here about me going in the pool. Like that's all I cared about. But all jokes aside, what a trip. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We have more vlogs coming on the way. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.